Hello, hello. Welcome to the Asian Dating Podcast. Today I have Lisa Amador. She is a certified matchmaker, dating coach, speaker, best-selling co-author, and founder of Amador Matchmaking, a discreet upscale boutique matchmaking company for successful, committed-minded singles. Lisa works with matchmaking clients in person and coaching clients in person or via the internet. Her focus is in Central and Southern California. However, she collaborates with matchmakers nationwide to create loving couples. Her mission is to connect and foster self-love, confidence, and excitement in those who desire to be in loving relationships. And fun fact about Lisa, she co-owns 2 restaurants with her husband, Michael, and they met on Match.com in 2012 and recently celebrated their 8th wedding anniversary. So they have an amazing blended family, grandchildren, and all that good stuff. And I'll put all of her information in the show notes for people who want to get in touch with Lisa. So Lisa, welcome to the show. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing so great, May. Thank you for having me here.
Yes, yes. I know you're in Santa Barbara. I'm in Colorado, and I know the weather is totally different for us right now. You're dealing with rain and stuff like that, and I have
Oh my
friends in
gosh.
LA that lost their power, and so I'm sure it's kind of crazy. How are you doing in the weather?
I'm doing great. I actually turned off my phone because I just got an emergency alert that there's an evacuation.
Oh boy. Okay.
I'm luckily not in the burn area. So I did have to evacuate for the fires, but not for the slides. So
Wow. Okay. Okay. Well, we'll get started here today. Today, we're going to talk about some of the books that have impacted us as matchmakers and how we go about serving our clients and which ones particularly stuck out in your mind from the previous years that you've been a matchmaker. So, what are some books that have impacted you that you want the readers to hopefully pick up?
okay, well, we're going to spend some time on my all-time favorite, Attached. So I'll leave that for a little bit later, but I love that book. But some of my other books, I've loved The Five Love Languages. That's been a really treasured item to share with people because it's pretty simple. It's a very general about that there are 5 love languages that there's 1 or 2 that are very impactful for us in a relationship and how important it is to receive love in the way that we need it to receive it and give it in the way our partners need it. So I've enjoyed the 5 love languages and sharing that with my clients. Of course, a colleague of ours, Michelle Jacoby, has an amazing book out there. I'm so glad you have your copy there because this is a book that I absolutely share with my coaching clients because basically everything she has in that book is what I teach. That would be a good one to put on your list for Michelle Jacoby's book. Um,
Waste Time on the Wrong Man Again by Michelle Jacoby, and we'll put all this in the show notes, but go ahead.
it's so real. What I love about hers is it's very practical advice and you just get it. And once you read it, you realize some of the mistakes that you might have been making or think patterns that you have, things that you maybe should be focusing on and you're not doing, just a shift in mindset and attitude and how to show up. I love how it's all laid out in her book. So that's a great one.
Good, good. Anything else? Any other books? Oh, what are you reading now?
So we just met at our matchmaking conference. There was a speaker there, Mimi Winsberg, and I'm reading her book, Speaking in Tongues, and it's really fun. I'm halfway through, so I can't give you a full rundown on it, but she is a psychiatrist, and the book is focusing on how people text and what it means and how to spot red flags in people's texting. So it's very interesting. And I think that's a good one for people to read. And I actually have a funny story about texting with my husband when we
Oh,
first met.
go ahead. Tell me the story.
Well, I'm not a texter. I've gotten better over the years, but came from, I was married for 20 years. And then when I got divorced and I started dating, I didn't want people texting me. I wanted people picking up the phone and calling me. So it's a little different now. I know people don't like, if you get a phone call, people think you're weird or something, at least for the younger generation.
Right.
But we're talking my age, I would prefer that somebody send me a text if it's like confirming something. I'm going to be late, something I need to know. It's a quick back and forth. But if you're going to tell me about your day and want some support and feedback, pick up the phone.
I agree. I agree. So what happened between you and Michael when you were dating?
Well, when we met, he's a texter and he sent me texts often. And I didn't, for me, it was like, okay, that was nice. You sent me a really sweet text. Do I have to answer? I didn't really feel the importance that I had to answer there and then, or sometimes I didn't even really answer because I just thought he was sending me a nice text. And he told me it hurt his feelings, basically, that it actually almost stopped him from seeing me again because he said I was a lousy texter. In kind words, he basically said, why, if I send you something, I want you to respond and that day, not a day later. And I said, wow, okay, I can pick up on be better with my texting. This is important to you. I want you to be happy. I will definitely step up my interaction, but I really explained to him, I need you to call me and talk to me when it's something more important or deeper than just a, hey, how are you? So we were able to have that communication about our communication, which enabled us to move forward in our relationship. And had he not spoken up and told me how important it was for me to text back, he might have moved on and we would have been done. And so I was glad that he stood up and shared how he felt.
So are you a texter now?
I've gotten much better.
Okay. See, I think women and men have different communication and texting styles for sure, because sometimes I text a bunch of stuff to my husband and I'm like, wait, did you get that message? You didn't reply. He goes, well, there wasn't a question, so I didn't have an answer. So I didn't reply with anything. So I was like, oh, okay. So now if I want him to reply, I would say, okay, we're leaving at so-and-so time. Is that okay? So then I ask a question. So he would then say, yes, that's fine. So I know he got the message. But yeah, that's a good point, because people who don't communicate effectively via text, that can be a huge problem, right? I mean, this is just another thing added on that we need to communicate better. But yeah,
Yes.
I'm a texter, Lisa. I can text all day long, tons of
Okay.
stories, send you memes, send you stuff, and just keep the conversation going. Like, oh, I thought of you, or that kind of stuff. So yeah, I'm a texter. When someone calls me, I'm like, is something wrong? Like, why are you calling me? Like, this could be handled through text or email, right? Like, yeah. So I get it. I get it.
So
So
right
yeah.
there, I adore you, May. I adore you, but I would be crazy. I'd be like, why is she texting me all the time? And you'd get frustrated. I wasn't texting you back. So
Yeah.
that would be a real big miscommunication gap. So I'm really happy to have learned this about you, and knowing that I would make more of an effort to text to you because I realize this is important to you.
Yeah. Because you
You
called
like
me.
it. You
No,
like
but
it.
that was the thing. You just called me before this podcast, and I was like, oh, she could have just texted me that. But you called me, so I could tell you're a caller, right? So you're more comfortable with that. So yeah, that's interesting. I think my husband has gotten better with texting as well, because I text a lot, and what I do is I actually text a photo a lot of something. And he's like, oh, I knew you were going to send me a photo. So now he knows, like, oh, you're going to send me a photo of the dog, or you're going to send me a photo of your food, or all that. So yeah, that's interesting. How do you advise your clients to get on the same page about communication? Like, how do you bring that on the forefront for them?
I ask them to ask that question. How do you like to communicate? So up front, you could know moving forward, does this person prefer text? do they prefer a phone call?
Anything.
Clear it up so you don't have that problem.
Right. That's true. That's true. Okay. So speaking in thumbs, you think that's a good book for someone to check out. Let's talk about the five love languages. Like you mentioned a couple things earlier in the introduction that there's a couple pieces with the five love languages that are very, very important. Can you expand a little bit on that?
Absolutely. The reason I think it's so important is because I really do truly believe that when you can identify how you receive love and what lights you up and what makes you feel seen and heard and valued and just whatever that love language is, and this book gives you a way to identify what it is and then share that information with somebody. So it's broken down into the five love languages, which is very general, but overall it pretty much works. And so you can receive love by receiving gifts, quality time, acts of service, words of affirmation, or physical touch. That is, you give love in those ways as well. It's different than receiving love. So I might love to give gifts to my husband, but I love receiving his words of affirmation and physical touch. And so and I also explain physical touch is the easy way to explain that one is like, it's really everything outside of the bedroom. It's the moments that you're just together and do you do those little caresses? Do you give the hugs when you're sitting on a couch together? Are you cuddled up together? Are you far apart? What is it when you're out in public? Are you holding hands? Does he have his arm around you? Some people love that and others rather have more distance. So I personally love the physical touch and the words of affirmation. Tell me all day how much you love me, and I can't, what you appreciate about me, how I make you feel, that just fills me up. So if he weren't going to give me those things, I'd feel sad. And so it really is a core need of mine to have those, receive love in those ways to make me feel loved and cherished and adored and happy. And of course, I want to give him back how he feels and receives in the best way. So he feels the same. It's a really give and take, and it should be an equal balance of what you're sharing with each other and how you're giving and receiving. But that helps you bond and appreciate and grow and build a strong relationship.
So is your love language the same as his? Like what's the first one for you and second one for you?
Mine, the words of affirmation and physical touch actually are the same for my husband. Okay. So that in that way, it makes it really easy because I know how I appreciate receiving love. So giving it in that way is really easy to do back. But maybe if, like I said, gifts were his thing. Sometimes if he, and it doesn't have to be an expensive gift. It could be, I made him chocolate chip cookies or I bought him his favorite book or from an author he loves. If that was his way of receiving it, then I would want to do that for him. But we have the same love languages.
Did you take the test online? The test that Gary Chapman, is that the author's name, has online? Okay.
Yeah, so, and I have my clients do that. So every time I have a consultation with somebody, I go over the 5 love languages with them and I send them that link and I ask them to share with me what the results are. And I explain to them how important it is to have this conversation. And even it's a great first date conversation. Not so much in the way of discovering what the love language is of this person you're with. I mean, that's obviously what you want to know for your partner. But when you ask somebody, have you heard of the 5 love languages? I just read this book or heard about this thing. What do you think? Their reaction to that question tells you volumes on how they react to something that might be a little bit uncomfortable or different than a question that they've heard before. So I love the reaction. That will tell you so much about the personality, because if they're like, what the hell? What kind of crap are you reading? What is this stuff? And if it makes them uncomfortable, well, what other kind of things will they shut down on and feel uncomfortable with? If they close down and they make you feel bad about yourself and what you might be doing or how you feel.
Yeah.
So I think that's so telling is if they're shutting it down, making you feel bad, or maybe they just are like, hey, hey, I'm a dude. This sounds girl stuff. I don't know this stuff, but go ahead, tell me what it is. I'm game. You're more open-minded, right?
Right.
Or
Yeah.
maybe they know, and then you could have that conversation. So I think the answer and how they respond to the question is more important to learn about somebody.
Good point. Good point. Would you say half of your clients already know about the five love languages, or would you say that majority of them don't or haven't heard about the book?
I'd say more and more so when I interview with people, do a consultation. A lot of people know it, or they've heard of it.
Right.
Uh, most it's probably, I don't know, maybe about a quarter who really know it, and they could tell me, oh, this is how I receive love, and this is, and they explain it to me. About another quarter know it and think they might understand it, and then, but most of them we go through it and when I have them take the quiz, what I ask them to do is to really put aside time that they are being thoughtful with the questions, and don't be really truly honest with yourself when you're answering the questions. Don't project what you wish you were, want to be, but like hell no, I know this is true. And when you answer the questions that way, the results will be accurate.
I mean, there's really no right or wrong, right? With that, it's just really to learn about yourself and learn about how you receive love and give love. And I was the gift one. What's that one?
Yes, when you like
Yes.
to,
Yeah.
you feel loved when somebody gives you a gift.
Yes, because
Yeah.
I also give gifts to a lot of people. Like that's how I express love is I buy stuff for people, or someone might like this author and I will buy them the book, or oh, these earrings are cute. I like it. So I'm going to buy a set for my friends, or a beanie or something. Like that's totally my love language. And I could tell you in the 15 years that I've been with my husband, he brought home a boba drink for me. Like it's like a $4 drink from a boba shop in Culver City. And I was so excited. I was like, oh my gosh, this is like the best gift ever. And of course, he's bought me tons of gifts over the years, but that one was like a surprise. It was just unexpected. And I really thought, wow, that is such a nice gift. Like that was thoughtful. Like that's how I thought he loved me, right? Like that was his way of expressing just a boba tea for me. But because giving or receiving gifts is my love language, I really felt loved. And that seriously, I still remember that. I mean, of all the gifts he's given me, even an engagement ring, I find that boba was such a special gift.
Boba engagement ring.
So yeah, but
But
anyway,
that's it. That's exactly it. It meant he gave you a gift, and it just meant so much to you. It lit you up. So he hopefully, as you said, he keeps doing this over the years. But in a relationship, when that happens, and you gave somebody a gift and they responded in such a positive way, and you could see it lit them up, then you would know, oh wow, this is good.
yeah. Yeah.
I should keep doing these kind of things because I want my partner to be happy.
Right, exactly, exactly. So let's touch on the other book that you mentioned, Attached. This
Yes,
book
I got
here
that.
by Amir Levine. Tell me what your thoughts are on this book and how it's helped you matching clients and helping people find love.
Well, what I love about this book is it is based on a lot of research. So I am I'm heart driven. I have a lot of intuition. However, I also like data. And this book by Dr. Amir Levine, and it's Rachel Heller. They together wrote this book, and he wrote it after he was in a long-term relationship, and that relationship ended, and it broke his heart. And he spent 10 years doing research on why relationships work or they fizzle. And then he wrote this book, Attached. So what it's based on is actually a psychology experiment that was done in I'm not sure if it was in the 70s. I'd have to go back, but I actually learned about it in college during a psychology course I was taking. So I had already heard about this study. And what it is, it measured how does a person receive, let's see, what's the best way to describe this? It's your way of, are you a secure attachment style, an anxious, or an avoidant? And this was measured through this experiment where they had a one-way mirror, where they were observing a young gal in a room with a lot of toys, and a mom and a child would enter that room, and the mother would engage with this young gal and their child and get the child playing. And then while that child was engaged, the mother would sneak out of the room. And every child reacted the same. Every child panicked. They all ran to the door. Mommy came in, dried off the tears. And then what happened next is what they were studying. Did that child re-engage with playing? So a secure child could go back and re-engage and start playing, and maybe they might look over their shoulder a little bit more to make sure their mom's there, but they could re-engage. So that was a secure attachment style. And then the child who was anxious would cling on to their mother, like hold on to their leg, hold on to their hand, would not let go, maybe would re-engage and play, but they just were really anxious. So, don't leave me again, mommy. And then the avoidant was like, they didn't even want to re-engage. They're just like, I'm out. Why did you do to this me? I don't want you to hurt me again. And so they have this study, and I'm really generalizing the study as well. But what it does is, this is developed when you're young, how you react to life and your skills on coping and interaction and avoiding an anxious or secure are how people treated you. And so this book will identify your attachment style. It gives study after study about couples and things that happen to them in normal everyday life. And then you, as a reader, get to decide, okay, based on this story. So Johnny and Susie went to the ball game, and Johnny said hi to Mary, and Susie did this, and Johnny said that, and they have these interactions, and you could be like, oh yeah, I've seen this before. Oh, this happened to me, or oh, this happens to my friend, or oh, I get it. These are daily interactions that we have as couples together with others, and how we handle them. So this will give you, like, based on this interaction, what do you think is this? What attachment style is Johnny, and which attachment style is Susie? And then it will say, okay, now that you guessed right, or this is the answer, this is what could have been done had they understood that this one was an anxious and this one was an avoidant. This is the conversation you can have together so it doesn't break up the couple. So it gives you tools on identifying how you are in a relationship, how your partner is in a relationship, and how to deal with that person on a day-to-day basis. So I just love it.
So it could be like a handbook in having an effective, loving relationship, right? It's almost like this is kind of a guidebook for everybody, that they can actually learn something from it and help in their own lives. So you're saying that this book, you've been reading this, you've read it many, many years ago, and it still applies as true as it is today.
Absolutely. And the great thing about it is somebody will all of a sudden be like, oh my gosh, there's nothing wrong with me. This happens to other people. There's a term for this. Oh, I'm an anxious, or I'm an avoidant, and other people are like this too. Oh, thank God. They don't feel like, what am I doing wrong? Why is this always happening to me? Why do I always get in my own way? They understand that this happens all the time to lots of people, to everyone. And so it makes them feel it allows them to understand, oh, I have control over this. I'm not just a victim of life circumstances. There's something I can do about it.
But you read this how long ago? You said, how long ago did you read it?
I read this 12 years ago.
Okay. Have your
Probably.
attachment style changed from 12 years ago reading about this book now? And has it changed to a different style? Like, do you try to elevate your styles and become a certain style? Is that the goal?
Okay, so what a secure attachment style, and over 50% of the people are secure. A secure attachment style is something you would want to strive to be. That means that you feel secure about who you are and how your partner feels about you. So that is the healthy place to be. But reality is that we are predispositioned from the way we were, our environment, and our, how we were raised, and even in our DNA, how we were formed. We are predisposed to certain, if we're anxious or avoidant. Now, you can become more secure by understanding what your attachment style is. So if you are not in a secure, normally in that disposition, okay, so I'm an anxious person, so this is what I need from my partner. If we go back to the texting, when I send a text to my partner, I need my partner to answer and to respond and to acknowledge me. And I know that they're thinking about me, or maybe I need my partner to give me a text on their own saying they're thinking about me. And understand, and that might make you now secure. That anxious, like, oh, I feel good now. I'm not feeling anxious anymore. I got that little, what I needed. And it could be very simple, just a simple little text. I'm thinking about you. I love you, honey. Oh, good. I feel secure. So you want to help your partner feel secure. You want to understand, oh, I'm needing this to feel secure. So explain to your partner what you need to feel secure. Does that make sense?
Yes. So are you saying that if I'm in a relationship with somebody and I'm constantly looking at my phone to see if he texted or called me, then I am now anxious. But if he doesn't play games and we both like each other and we're not even looking at our phones to see when that person calls, then we automatically have a secure attachment style, right? So it kind of depends on what stage you're in while you're dating too, or no?
Yeah. So I think that, even a secure person can become anxious if your partner is making you feel that way.
Okay.
I think it's a very toxic relationship so if there is somebody who is a naturally secure person, they feel good about themselves, they know what they're bringing to the relationship, but now their partner is trying to make them always feel jealous. Like, so say we're talking about a secure gentleman and he's got a girlfriend, and that girlfriend is like, oh, this guy was flirting with me today, and oh, I did this today, and like trying to make that her boyfriend feel jealous. That's like why would you do that? But you could now start making your secure boyfriend start feeling anxious. So that's not a healthy way to have a relationship. So when somebody's doing that, I would be like, why does this person feel the need to be getting all this attention elsewhere? What's going on with this relationship? What's going on with her that she's needing this? And in this situation, she needs to have a deep look at herself and why is she doing this, and trying to because that could just wreck this relationship.
So does the book kind of tell you, as the man in that relationship, how to communicate with the woman in that sense?
Yeah, so it does give you tools to be able, now you have to be able to sit down and communicate. That boyfriend in this situation would have to say, I need to talk to you about this. I love you. Whatever it is, I want to be in this relationship with you. Why are you feeling the need to always bring in these other situations that make me feel anxious or jealous? Or why are you doing this?
Right.
Because I don't like it.
Right.
That person might think, oh my gosh, I didn't realize I was doing that. Wow. I thank you for sharing that with me. I didn't realize I had this need to do this, and I'm going to work on it. I mean, that's great.
Yeah, it goes back to communication, right? It's so important in all of our relationships, friendships, platonic or romantic relationships. So I always feel like you can't
Yeah,
over
so
communicate.
this book will share with you how to have those conversations, but you have to be with somebody who's willing to hear them. If it's a one-sided conversation, it's really not going to go anywhere. So I think it's important that both people read the book and understand what their attachment style is, and understand how, knowing their partner's attachment style, how to communicate together successfully, so that you're not having arguments or misunderstandings, or worse, no communication.
Right, right. I mean, I just feel like dating, there's not really a course we take in college or in high school that this is dating 101 or this is dating upperclassmen. It's really something that if you want a loving relationship and you want to excel in dating or find someone great and be a great partner, you really have to do the work. You really have to either attend seminars or read up online and practice, or go online dating and date people or read books about it. I mean, I think that's kind of how I fell into this career and this industry. Is I love reading about all this stuff, the books, the quizzes, the interviewing other matchmakers such as yourself to learn more. Like there's always stuff to learn about dating. Even when you are married and you are in a good relationship, there are now books on how to be a good wife, how to be a good husband. I feel like the learning never stops. I mean, if you want to excel in a relationship, there are so many books to read. Oh
You're
yeah, that
right.
book. I have that one too. Yes.
Oh,
With Terri Orbuch. Yeah.
love
Um,
Terri. I love
yes.
Terri.
Yeah, tell me a little bit about that. She has a few books, but yes, I have that one as well, and I've read that. So what are some lessons you've learned in that book?
Well, I will tell you what I love about Terri. Terri also is science-based,
Yeah.
and I love relationships and the science behind them, like why do things work and how can you improve them, and just the understanding of what makes a relationship and communication. And so Terri breaks that down quite well, and understanding where you are you in a healthy place to even date, and understanding, am I ready, have I moved on from a breakup, am I in a place where I love myself and know that what I'm bringing. So she has books that are pre-dating, just to even understand, am I ready for dating, and it's all based on, I don't know, 10,000 couples that she's followed over 10 years or more. I'm not exactly sure.
Right. A lot. Yeah, I think it's like 20 something years, and yeah, almost 1,000 couples that they followed. I mean, that's amazing. That's like the largest study in all of that realm. I mean, that's, yeah, great
Yes.
points. Yes, yes.
Yeah. So her books are all about, in what stage are you? Are you pre-dating stage? Are you dating? Are you in a relationship? So they go into how you can identify where you are, what you need to know about where you are, and how can you move forward in a successful manner with your partner. So those are great tools when they're giving you understanding of where yourself and your partner and how to be together, or understand maybe this isn't the right relationship to be in and it's healthy to uncouple.
Right, right. No, I agree. I mean, I think men and women should read these books. And even if you get one good little morsel to elevate your relationship with somebody or help you understand yourself and why you do some of the things you do, it's so great. I mean, that's what makes our industry so exciting and fun, and because we're always learning. So yeah, I love it. I love all this stuff. I have tons of books that I need to get to. But yeah, so Lisa, tell me a little bit about you and what you do and what your specialty is.
Okay, what do I do? I am a matchmaker. I am based in Santa Barbara. So the majority of the people I work with and help find loving relationships are in the Santa Barbara, Central, and Southern California area. And I am equally working with men and women. So I represent both. And it's been, the age ranges have changed, but over the last couple of years, it's really been about a third, a third, a third. A third being in the age range where they're wanting to get married and start families. About a third who've already done that, and now they're divorced and they're still young enough to have more kids if they want to. And then a third are at that retirement stage, and they're traveling the world and together and doing things as a couples with older or kids out of the house. So it's really, but everybody I work with is about having a committed monogamous relationship. They are very typically successful, and they know what they want, and they're used to hiring a professional to help them achieve the results they want. They don't want to waste their time. These are, I love my clients. They come to me, I'm like, oh my God, are you kidding me? I got another gem. Like, which one do I line up and set you up with first? It's so exciting because I love my clients. And if I don't, I'm not representing you. If you're not realistic and you have, crazy ideas of what you want, and I'm not gonna take on somebody I can't match. So but my clients, they meet people, they're just not meeting the right people. And they just know it's absolutely important for them to share their life and build something wonderful.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Well, Lisa, I will put all of your information in the show notes. And thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you.
I represent a different niche. I represent helping Asian women and men who want to date them. So if you're a nice Asian woman out there, I would love for you to be in my database, and it's free to register with me. And you can go to twoasianmatchmakers.com, and please like or subscribe to this video. If you have any questions, you can always email me at may@twoasianmatchmakers.com. Well, Lisa, thank you so much for your time today. You look lovely. And anyone who wants to work with Lisa, please contact her. She is a dear, dear friend and an amazing matchmaker. So you can't go wrong with finding Lisa. Thank you, Lisa. I will talk to you later. Bye.
Have a good time.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
bye.